Welcome to RC4 Wireless, and we hope you enjoyed our holiday video. We wanted to take a moment and go through how we created the video and what was the idea behind it. So the main concept of the video was to use whatever we had laying around the shop to create it and try to keep it to basically a 2-day build. Our initial idea came from the idea of shadow boxes. You can find all kinds of different designs of shadow boxes on Etsy, and we decided to go with a Grinch theme. We initially took this shadow box design, brought it into Adobe Illustrator, modified it so it'd be one, bigger, and two, a wider space because we're not confined within the shape of a rectangle or a square. Luckily, we have a lot of cardboard laying around the shop because we use it to laser cut parts in that to make sure that it's the right size, that things are going to fit, before we put the time and effort to making the final part out of 3D printing or using like a CNC machine. So any box that we have something shipped to us in, we hang on to that and we use it. And the great thing is when we're done making those parts, those test pieces, we just recycle the cardboard. So we actually experimented with different thicknesses of cardboard to see what would work best for our depth of field. And, think of it like a gobo. You don't want to have a gobo that's too thick because then it gets fuzzy on the edges, but you also don't want to be too thin because it won't look right. The Grinch itself is actually a different thickness than the trees, and we actually get thicker as we go back to the back of the image there. The great thing is cardboard laser cuts really fast. We used 3mm Baltic birch plywood that we had laying around the shop here. We had some left over. To laser cut these small mounts that we cut the different parts, we were able to cut the holes into there and then just glue it together real quick so that it would easily bolt onto our extruded aluminum. Now let's get to the fun part, the electronics behind all this. There's various stages of what we wanted things to look like, and there's various things that we need to have happen. One, we obviously had to have illumination. And we wanted to create a backdrop back here, a Aurora Borealis effect. We wanted to have lighting inside each of the windows of the building. But we also needed to have movement, the movement within the trees. There's two sets of trees. The first set of trees, we wanted to have them move slowly inward as the camera's pulling back to give an effect. And the first set of trees over there, it's actually a practical reason we had to move them. The camera wouldn't fit past them. So we put them on servos. So as the camera moves back and forth, the trees can actually move in and out of the way. So, one, the camera can move, and then two, it looks correct on the video. Just on the other side of this plywood here, we have a RGBW LED strip that's uplighting this backdrop here, just so we can kind of acknowledge that it's there. And to control that, we're using a LumenDim M4 Micro. The great thing is it's an extremely small circuit board. It fits nicely into small areas, and it can handle a fair amount of power. This particular LumenDim unit, it has an external antenna. We didn't necessarily need it for this project, but it's what we had laying around the shop. Moving forward, we have our DMX6DIM, which is currently operating on the 2.4 gigahertz range. This 6DIM is currently controlling the grain of wheat bulbs that are lighting the back of the windows. These LEDs operate on 3.6 volts. Our 6DIM needs a minimum of 5 volts to operate, so we're actually splitting our voltage off our battery. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel because we've got a video popping up here soon that will walk you through how this voltage splitting works. Next, we have our DMX4DIM, which is on the 900 megahertz frequency. This is controlling the servos. To connect your servos, you're going to take the signal line, connect it to the negative of the dimmers, and then you're going to take your positive and negative from your servos, run it to a bus bar, and then run that back to your battery. In our situation here, when we initially set this up, we were moving all 4 servos very quickly at the same time. It pulled a fair amount of current. It would actually undervolt the 4DIM. So in order to help with that, what we did is we added a capacitor here at the beginning, and that helped kind of smooth out that current draw. And now onto some of the exciting stuff here. We have the LumenDim Pix Micros. We've got 2 of them here. These are micro pixel drivers, which is absolutely fantastic. They're very small, again, micro. And we have one with the external antenna, and we have one with the internal antenna. We're using both options just because that's what we had laying around the shop. The top one is controlling the pixel string, which is doing the stars for the backdrop. The one with the internal antenna is actually doing the neon rope pixels that do the Aurora Borealis effect back there. So let's take a little bit closer look on how this effect is working. So to accomplish the Aurora Borealis effect and the stars, one, we were using a diffusion scrim here that we use for filming. It helps soften the light. The way the grain works within the scrim, it actually kind of gives a star shape, kind of a cross shape, whenever the light passes through that. So that helped us out quite a bit in creating the star type effect. And then you can see that we have pixel string back here. And that's doing the stars. We picked which LEDs we want to turn on. And then we created this amorphous shape out of this pixel neon rope here. And that worked out well. So once both these sets of lights passed through that scrim, it created this very amorphous type effect. And it worked really well. For control, we're using ETC's Nomad EOS setup. That's connected to a series of DMX King nodes that then are connected to our transmitters, which are on the other side of the room. This entire rig here is wireless and runs off battery. I can pick this up, take it outside if I wanted to, and it would still operate just fine. We had a lot of fun creating the holiday video for y'all, so if you have any questions, drop a comment down below and we'll be happy to answer them about how we did this. Stay tuned for 2022. We have a lot of exciting new things coming and some really fun videos that are planned. Thanks for joining RC4 Wireless. Make sure you drop a like, ring that bell, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new tutorials coming out and how-to videos.